Sunday, it's the quarterfinals of the 2016-2017 Veterans Football Tournament, the Caricom's main championship. It is the second day, which means one of those teams will remain in the competition and one will become like me in the stands spectating. However, before us this afternoon, it's the Micoud Veterans versus the Caricom Masters. They both have won the competition before, so this should be very exciting. Round of applause for both teams and getting to this stage of this year's competition. The officials for this encounter, the referee, Marvin Hilaire, assistant referee 1, Nigel Maffred, assistant referee 2, Lyndon Baptiste, and the fourth official is Ms. Chantel John. Should be very interesting, guys. We have a crew of individuals here to meet the teams. David Shakespeare, who is the tournament director. We have Mr. Niles, who is the director of Veterans in Sport, Big Post. We have Mr. Donaville, or MC Donaville, and we have Boss Cartel. And you say boss, what are you ready? You know boss? You are ready, boss? What? And we're off. Caricom Masters all.
Okay, good afternoon. We're here again at the Philip Marsley ground. We have Micoud coming up against Caricom Master. It's a quarter-final game. We have the one and only Mr. Terry Phillisley joining us in the commentary booth. I pass the mic over to Terry, so Terry can pick it up from here.
A game that promises to be perhaps the most competitive and certainly the most compelling shakes of this round, at least on paper. But you know what they say on paper does not always translate. Last night we saw the fixture between Lancers and Soufrière. Soufrière defending champions, coming in with very high hopes. Lancers, one of the weaker teams based on their qualifying record. And that one ended up 1-1 all the way through to extra time and then had to be decided by penalties. So who knows what we'll see here. Caricom Masters, one of the high-scoring teams in this tournament, 9 goals. And those 9 goals, though, coming from just 2 players.
Oh, yes, that's right. As you said, on paper, everything looked nice and dandy on paper, but when it comes to the field, it's a different kettle of fish. Yes, Caricom Masters scored 9 goals already, but today is going to be a testing day for them because Micoud will be looking themselves to get on the score sheet today and prove them wrong. Caricom Master won this tournament before. They're in there today looking to see if they can make their way to the semi-finals. But as you said, it's a very high expectation today for both teams.
Micoud themselves former finalists, and they finished second in their group, whereas Caricom Masters came out on top in theirs. As we see Caricom Masters in blue, they are on the attack. Very prolific attack. They've had just 2 goal scorers so far for the tournament, Caricom Masters, but they've produced, between them, they've produced 3 hat-tricks. So those goals from Caricom Masters coming from just 2 players, but those 2 players deal only in hat-tricks. And unfortunately, that sort of came home to roost for them, the Shakes, in their last preliminary game because they didn't produce any hat-tricks and they lost. So it's basically all or nothing with Caricom Masters.
They probably score all the goal in that game. But they have some good scoring machine on the side. We have Raski, we see scoring a lot of goal. We have Guthrie scoring a lot of goal. We haven't seen Alvin Malikan on the score sheet as yet. And we haven't seen VG himself on the score sheet as yet. So they have a lot of armory in store. So let's see what's going to happen. There's a free kick just on top of the box for Caricom Master, Terry.
Good position and a dangerous free kick. Just fizzes past the upright. Not entirely sure the keeper had that one covered for Micoud Veterans. A very, very good free kick.
Yeah, it was a very good free kick. We see the goalie getting across, but he didn't really have that completely covered, whisking past the right-hand side of the post. Both teams is trying to feel the way out. Micoud is under a little bit pressure. The ball is more in the half. Presently, Caricom Master getting another infringement again against Micoud. But all in all, Terry, this game is set up to be a very, very, very interesting game. Let's see who's going to make it to the semi-finals. Another free kick from on top of the box. Way past the goal this time. We're not seeing Mr. Connie Louis today, Chinese. Chinese wandering out, or he went to China? We're not seeing Chinese as yet.
He's probably in China.
Yes, Micoud again trying to see if they can get the ball out of the half. And Alvin Malik can. Oh, good chance, good chance. There's a horrible mistake.
Well, two horrible mix-ups. Because first you had the Micoud trying to get the ball out of the defense and bobble it right back into the hands of, well, the feet of Caricom Masters. Caricom Masters with 2 men on the attack coming into the 18-yard box and unfortunately unable to communicate cleanly between them. Both eager to try to get on the scorecard and unable to communicate cleanly between them. And they lost it, unfortunately, but managed still to get the corner, which is taken high and looping and is put, looks as though it's going to go into the midfield third. Vijay, ooh, well challenged Vijay, but he manages, the Caricom Masters captain, to get the ball back for his team.
Yes, Neil Chinese just joining us in the commentary booth. Just returned from China on the British Airways flight. Yes, Caricom Master trying to build an attack. Here Caricom Master number 20 making his way. Then beat 1, beat 2, pass over to number 17, Rasky, the goal scorer, the hat-trick scorer from the previous game. Lost the ball in the middle of the field. Good defending there by Caricom Master. And we'll join by Connie Louis. Connie Louis, your pieces all set and ready to go?
Well, yes, of course, just getting my things in order there, and I will join you in a moment.
Okay. We've seen some mix-up again. Both teams trying different tactics. Both teams trying different tactics to see how they can get on the scorecard. As we move about 7 minutes into the game. Throw by Micoud.
Yes, of course, a throw in there from Peter Paul, who was trying to find a victory in there. And the ball is remaining airborne for a moment. And the Dreadlocks man is trying to dance in the defense of Caricom Masters. It's Andy Joseph who's finding his man. That's hilarious. The ball going out into a touch there. For a throw into Caricom Masters. In control of the ball game is Caricom Masters. And the referee spotted an infringement there. Roger was pulled back there. Roger again is trying to swing this one across into the path of Alvin Malakan, but it is a good snapshot there across goal. Looks to me like Ernest there is snapping at this one. And of course in commentary with me is David Chicks Christopher. Having a few to eat there, and Terry finished there to my left. Terry, tell me, very early in the game, how do you really see the game so far?
Well, this was looking like it would have been one of the more intriguing clashes of the quarterfinals, and Caricom Masters are sort of putting that notion to bed. They're playing their ball control as your fellow Chinese Their coach likes to drill into them. They're playing their ball control attack and just keeping the ball, knocking it around very, very comfortably. And they are really maintaining control of this game so far. Roger Celestin, not many opportunities thus far, but he certainly will figure. Abraham Mentor at the other end has barely seen the ball. The goalkeeper for the Caricom Masters has been all up front between the likes of Alvin Malakan and Roger Celestin.
Yes, of course. Just speaking of Alvin Malakan, he just played a 1-2 there, and they were trying to find Ernest there on the final third, but some very good defending there by Micoud. A goal kick to be taken there by Philip Gaspar. The head of Romana Singles go up. The ball goes straight back to Gaspar. And Shakes is having the munchies in the commentator's booth.
And just a reminder that Roger Celestin, who you just saw play the ball there, Roger Celestin, who is now does indeed have the ball at his feet. He is the tournament's top scorer with 2 hat-tricks. Loops the cross in, and it's handled by Philip Gaspar. But Roger Celestin with 6 goals, 2 hat-tricks. He is the top scorer in the competition. Godfrey Alfred is the second top scorer with 3 goals, 1 hat-trick of his own. And then you have Dabrio Henry from Soufre. He is actually the reigning MVP from last year, and he is on 2 goals. A number of players now on 2 goals, at least going into this stage of the tournament.
Yes, of course, Terry. You can't count W out because we all know that Soufre, they are the defending champs of the main trophy. We saw them last night scraping the pot there. But in all, when the final whistle was blown, Soufre managed to go home with the victory.
Well, the food tastes a little bit sweeter when you scrape the pot.
And that's what I think Shakes is having there in the
Shakes is scraping deep in the pot.
All right, then. Throw in there to Micoud. Some substitution being made there on the part of Micoud. As usual, we're being welcomed by the breeze that blows across from St. Vincent. A very strong breeze indeed. Very cold up here in the commentary booth. And not too far from the airport. The dreadlocks man for Micoud is in control of the ball game, trying to find his man. A 1-2 there. A cross coming from the far side, and some good defending there by Caricom Masters. And Micoud is trying to penetrate the final third there, and some dangerous run there by the number 16. I think it's Peter Paul there, trying to make inroads into the Caricom Masters defense. And now Shakes is done with the munchies. He's going to take over here in the commentary booth. Shakes still nil all here between the two. And since it's the quarter final stages, the knockout stages, you know that one has to go home. Either it is Caricom Masters or it could be Micoud Veterans. If it is ending at in a draw that is in regulation time, you know we have to go into penalty shootouts, and one must be eliminated.
Yes, Chinese, we call it 2020 in football, is what's going on today. One going to stay and one going to go. We see Roger Celestin building an attack again, going down the right flank and crossing that ball over, taken well by Mr. Gaspar. Yes, Chinese, as we see British Airways just leaving again, in the foreground, going over to Barbados and making it way all the way up to the UK. What a scenery from the commentary booth, Chinese. This game is gonna really depends on who score first. I think both team is playing a cat and mouse game, but as far as I can see, Caricom must have been getting the better of Micoud so far. We've seen again that they're building up on the right flank, but a little bit of bubble still in both team players. I think they're still kind of nervous, but 0-0 as you hear the commentary just came over the PA system. But Terry, how you see this one going so far?
Gillen Vigier very much involved in all of the action for his team, central defender, and he tries to get on the ball there, unable to do so. Some fine work from Micoud as they try to push the ball up into the attacking third, and the attacking players are judged to have committed a foul. But Gillen Vigier very much involved in everything that his team does. Caricom Masters, they started the tournament off with a bang, beating Monrepo 6-0. That was the biggest win in the tournament before Grosley last week gave the same opponents, Monrepo Sharks, 8-0 in the plate quarterfinals. And they went on to win their next game over Prophet and Kings, 4-1, before eventually losing to Ancillary 1-0. So they've come in with a little bit of up and down. I mean, they've been on top of their group. They ended up on top of their group, but they were a little bit up and down, Chinese, as far as their results went. Basically all or nothing, and they won 6-0, then 4-1, and then eventually lost 4-1 as Alvin Malakan is unable to chase the ball, allows it to go into touch, unable to save it from going into touch. So it's a throw-in once again for Micoud. Micoud in control. Celestin playing some defense there. And it's Peter Paul booting the ball forward. But Gillen Vigier recovers and gives it back to Caricom Masters. Caricom Masters probably going to knock it about here. Eustace Vitalis, the other Chinese. Well, he's older than you, Chinese, so I'm guessing that he was Chinese first. But Chinese coaching the Caricom Masters, unfortunately unable to play with them this year, but he's drilled that ball possession mantra into his team. And one of the things that happens when you're able to possess the ball for large periods of time frustrates the other team.
Yes, of course, possession is one of the main aspects of the game. As long as you could possess the ball, you entitled to get a goal at any time. And as you see, Caricom Masters is still possessing the ball by Butram. Butram is seeing Vigier. Again, some good passing and good control there by Caricom Masters.
The other positive element for Caricom Masters, as they're dispossessed in the back, is that because they won their first two games by such big margins, they were able to give a number. Gillen Vigier, with a beat, and there he goes into the attack. He's in the attacking third, and he plays it wide. It's now in the 18-yard box for Caricom Masters, but just hit over for nobody in particular. But I was saying that Caricom Masters, because they won their first two games by such big margins, they've been able to give a number of their reserves important game time, even though against lesser opponents, but they've been able to get a number of their reserves, and they do have a very deep bench. They've been able to get their reserves a lot of playing time.
Well, yes, of course, Terry, because it is rule on, rule off, and the legs get tired very easily. As I always say, they are not called old men, they are just coming of age. So the legs get tired from time to time, and they need their rest. They're starting from the back again. Caricom Masters shakes. Caricom Masters is looking for a very early goal here.
They've been getting a lot of chances, Chinese, but they're just not putting the passes and the finishing touches on the end of the pass anytime they get into the 18-yard box. We see them trying to build again. Celestin with the ball, pass it over to number 20, and he lost it again inside there. So we've seen Caricom Masters getting a lot of chance, get on top of the box, but they just can't finish it and get the ball, as you would say your favorite word, in the old onion bag.
Yes, of course. Again, you saw Micoud trying to build an attack there, but again, still cut short, and Ibrahim Mentor is in control right now. He's trying to find his man there on the left flank. Some good control in there. Good ball work. And again, it looks like Caricom Masters again was trying to build an attack there on the left flank. But this was not to be.
Caricom Masters is kind of ease and press. They need to get their passes together right anytime they get on top of the 18 box. We see they get in there very often, but they just putting the finishing touches, the punching, as you would see in boxing. They're not putting the combination together when they get on top of the box, Shiny.
Yes, very true. On arriving in the final third, you got to finish. You got to put the knockout punch right there. A shot there again, and a wonderful save there. Yes, of course, by Philip Gaspar. Nice snapshot, and Philip Gaspar was coming down on this one. Had he not done this, most probably it would be ringing off his left upright, or he could have kissed the pole and gone inside. And the place has just been illuminated. You see as darkness is enshrouding the regions here in the south. Corner kick there for Caricom. Heads go up in defense. Micoud is trying to get the ball out of harm's way. And
a little bit of magic there. We saw a little bit of magic from Roger Celestin getting a 1-2 and try to bicycle, but his chain just gets slipped in the process, and he lost the ball just inside of the box. But Caricom Masters getting a lot of chance. They're building up nicely, but as I said, they're not putting the combination on top of the box so they can finish nicely.
well, here comes Caricom Masters again with Gillan Vigier from the back, and he's trying to dance around his man. Oh, aerial ball trying to be put down to the turf. Okay, it is Vigier finding his midfielder. This one is swung across to Buttram. And then a little applaud there from Buttram. This one was directed straight to him, but he just couldn't bring it down.
Buttram Ishmael and Roger Celestin very much involved here in the early going for Caricom Masters. They've been part of nearly every move that's been made, but as Sheikh said, just not getting it right in the final third. Not sure what their thinking is when they get into that box. They've had a couple of decent opportunities, not necessarily clear-cut. There was one clear-cut opportunity when they had two players colliding in the box, but they just haven't been able to get it together just yet.
Yes, Terry, and it's the reason why the game is still at even Stevens. Nil all here between the two. Some very good ball there being played by Micoud. And there was a push there, of course, by Buttram. A free kick there to Micoud. It looks to me like Julian Maffrin behind this one there for Micoud. He's going to try to swing it across. And it's no problem there for Mentor. And he's finding his man on the left flank, Andy Joseph, trying to build an attack. Finding Ernest. Some touches there on the left side. Andre Emmanuel. Again, some touches on the ball there. The Masters. trying to keep possession. Andre pushing it back to Vijay. Vijay swinging it across to Joseph. Boot was placed in there by D. Randolph, and Micoud is in possession of the ball game right now. Julian Maffrey, very instrumental in the game. Throw in there by Alton Robert. He was robbed there by Butchram.
I'll let you know that we are 25 minutes into the first game. 25 minutes in. Micoud versus Caricom Masters, and the score remains at 0-0.
Butchram playing 1-2. Roger Celestin back to Butchram. Butchram is playing a little 1-2 with Joseph, trying to find ways and means to penetrate the Micoud defense. Gonzaga is swinging it across. Romana Singlis taking on his man quite perfectly. Gonzaga again. A good ball there. Ernest finding his man. Some inroads is being made there. Still possessing the ball is Caricom Masters. Butchram is just letting this one slip away for a moment there. Recovered there by Alton Robert for Micoud. D. Rodolphe. Alton Rigobert is pushing this one in a no man's land there. And some very strong breeze coming from the sea there, Shakes. Very, very strong breeze and very cold in it.
Very, very cold. That breeze is coming all the way from a place you call Bridgetown, Barbados. As you can see ahead of you, is looking at Bridgetown, Barbados, which is some 110 miles away from here. Also, we also have some cold breeze coming across from 27 miles over St. Vincent. So we've been caught within like a sandwich in the middle. Breeze from Barbados and breeze from St. Vincent, the Grenadines. Yes, we see Caricom Master kind of losing a little bit of patience. They haven't make any substitutes so far. And we see that the front line is kind of mixing it up a little bit, but as I said before, they're just not putting the combinations together when they get in front of the goal.
Yes, of course, and you see Micoud is keeping it this way and implementing and bringing players into the game. It's bringing some fresh legs in. Caricom Masters is just keeping the posture and, of course, holding them down. Caricom Masters already won the tournament. They defeated Soufrière down in Soufrière, Sulphur City. And Soufrière still being the defending champs. There you see. Moving Samuel was just trying to feed his man there. And he was ruled offside. Dreadlocks, Samuel is trying to find his man there. Some good ball there, but again, he was clipped. That's Evans. Malikan is trying to break into the defense of Micoud. That's some good work there again by the goalkeeper. Good work by Gonzaga. Trying the 1-2 there. Didn't come out.
Again, we see Caricom Master kind of rushing it a little bit up in the front. I don't know if they should be switching the attackers, moving the one over from the left to the right and just kind of crisscross because they're losing the ball every time they go down the right flank. They just penetrating the center of Micoud defense. But so far, as I said, it's just jabbing. We didn't see any main punches being thrown so far. Having Malikan, we see falling right back, picking it up. And the 1-2 again, down the right flank. And overtapping again, wrong angle, that's the reason.
Yeah, Terry, still nil all here. The crowd is waiting for, some action here in this game, and both teams are playing pretty poised and not many opportunities on goal.
Well, the crowd ahead of it is a little bit anxious, certainly, to see Caricom Masters' control of the game translate into goals, and that they haven't, obviously, is an issue for them. They do have Godfrey Alfred. I don't think he's come off the bench yet, and he's somebody who's already scored a hat-trick in this competition, so perhaps somebody that they can call on. But there's another man who's scored 2 hat-tricks, and he's got the ball. Roger Celestin on the run, and he tries to find the far corner, but there was just perhaps too much work for him to do there, Chinese.
Yes, of course, there you see Celestin again trying to find the far corner there, and this one went wide. Just speaking of no opportunities, I'll be taking on goal shakes, and we just saw Roger Celestin trying to pounce on this one.
I think he rushed it a little bit. He should have carried it a little bit more. And we see they make the first change as you speak. We see Caricom Master just making the first substitution, building it again, trying to see how they can really bring down the defense of Micoud, but Micoud is equal to the task so far. We see some very anxious supporters of Caricom Master just shifting to the left-hand side. They are very, very nervous. They haven't seen a goal as yet so far, Terry.
No goals so far, and Caricom Masters, though, very much in control of the game. They've just been ruled offside, starting to ring the changes. Roger Celestin again with an opportunity. This one he skewed it wide and really perhaps could have done, as Chinese said, a little bit better. Perhaps feeling the defender on his shoulder as Micoud with a potential opportunity here, and they pull it back instead and try to reset and back into the teeth of the defense of Caricom Masters.
It was Julian Maffrin there doing the bulk of the work for Micoud, and to no avail. Micoud still in control of the ball game. Very lovely pass there, looking for Olton Rigobert. Olton is trying to take on his man, doing so quite nice. Finding Bert finding his man, but giving away again. Some good touches there on the ball by Caricom Masters. Emmanuel is finding his compatriot there on the left flank, and a charge across there, trying to bring this one across, and what a header there again. Roger Celestin, a diving head. I think he hurt himself in the process there.
What a piece of goalkeeping by Philip Gasper, and Roger Celestin just picks himself up from the turf. Fine work by him, good football all around.
Yes, of course. A lovely cross there, and finding the head there, and not a goal bound. And Micoud again.
A heavy cloud coming over from the northern side of the island. We may see some rain again in a short while, but so far we've seen both teams exchanging punches, but nobody really counter punching. So as we move again, we see Micoud trying to build up, trying to find Evans down the flank, and Micoud is on the attack. Micoud playing the ball back into the half, and waste ball again. Well, Chinese, both teams Really, I would say even Steven so far. As Terry said, this is going to be a very intriguing game, but we haven't saw much goal score, any goal at all score so far. So probably in the second half, we're going to tell on who needs it more as the clock ticks down as we move closer to the first half of this encounter.
Yes, of course, as the ball goes back with Abraham Mentor, like Sheikh said, the one who's wanting it most. They are the ones who are going to find the back of the net. The first, as you see, this ball was stolen there. And some a good ball being played there by the Masters, wanting this one. And this one is put into the path of the goalkeeper, but some a good blocking there by the goalkeeper. Is it Thompson was goal bound, and some good keeping by Philip Gaspar.
Yes, we see a little bit of excitement as the crowd get real anxious. The ball just on top of the box, and Gaspar is having a very good day between the bars. I think right now he's the one who have most of the action so far going for his team, and we see Caricom Masters squandering another golden opportunity again.
Yes, of course. Terry, you saw that opportunity?
Absolutely, and keeping in mind that Caricom Masters have they have the best goal difference in the tournament, and have been very, very stingy. They've allowed the fewest goals, the joint fewest goals in the tournament, just 2. But the attack this evening hasn't quite clicked the way that they would like it to. They're getting opportunities, but they're just not making the most of them.
Yes, of course. They just squandered a brilliant chance there just a moment ago. Buttram taking possession of this ball. He's trying to find his man, Joseph Evans. Evans is looking across, looking for Curtis. Curtis in possession, receiving from Inglis. Inglis again, trying to lift this one gently for Emmanuel. Emmanuel into the final third, lifting this one gently there. A control there on the chest of Thompson. And this ball just left him for a moment.
Yeah, miscontrol, unfortunately. Had he been able to get that one under control, that could have been in the back of the net.
Very true indeed. Roderick finding his man. He was trying to dance around there. That's Thompson. And he was robbed. Olton seeing Julian. Julian looking for his man. What a chip over the keeper's head. And had he not been outside, what a wonderful goal that would have been. And I think that he'll be cautioned because he was being stubborn. Not obeying the whistle. That's Conrad Evans there.
Whether we saw a goal on a shot on target from the Micoud team. So somebody
Abraham Mento to take the spot kick for Caricom Masters.
I don't think we've seen that in the game. For the entire 37 minutes thus far.
Micoud in control of the ball game still. It's Julian trying to find his man and did so quite perfectly, but again being intervened there and a good pass there back to the keeper by Curtis. In charge of the ball game is Romanas for Caricom, finding his man there on the far side. Emmanuel, good ball there again. Thompson looking for Bertram. He's found him. Some good touches there by Caricom Masters. Roderick finding his man. Some good ball. He's been fended there by the Dreadlocks man. That's Mervyn Samuel. And the ball is in the hand of Philip Gaspar. Still awaiting on either or Shakes to pounce.
Yeah, we waited on either. We see both teams going at one another, but nobody's been successful so far. and the supporters is very emanated. They want to see a goal. They want to see a goal scored. So many goals been scoring so far. But today, as we wait for the first goal to score between these matches here, we're still waiting. But just to remind the viewers that you're looking at Jules Production International, live and direct out of the south of the island, the Philip Marsley ground. In the commentary booth, we had the famous Mr. Cameron Brown on the left-hand corner, and we have Mr. Terry Phillisley, and we have the one and only Blackheart Chinese alongside the SUV 303 in the commentary box.
Yes, of course. And we're just in the commentary box doing our thing. It's all about the Caribbean Alliance Gold Cup, veterans football. And we started in 2016, and as usual, we finish in the year after this. And we're in 2017. And nil all here between the Masters and Micoud veterans. Very deep into the first half of our first game here, the first of two games to be played. Later on, we'll be seeing the homeboys of Central View Fort and the holy men of Prophet and Kings Sheiks. And Prophet and Kings, they derive from different churches, yet still they have a dreadlocks man playing for them. I don't know if he's a Seventh-day Adventist.
Well, Moses was a dreadlocks in the disciple. If you check on those pictures from the 12 disciples, they had a dreadlocks from the inception, so they just found their dreadlocks. That's going to be a very good game, Chinese. View Fort Central, very exciting and entertaining. But we saw this year that the holy men really stepping up to the plate, and they want to prove people wrong that they themselves could make it to the semi-finals and finals. So what a game we're waiting coming up. So far, Evans get a ball, corner, offside. So we're seeing again that both teams trying out this tragedy, but nobody's really getting the back of the net. We should be 20 minutes, 17 minutes to the first half. And so far again, nil all. Caricom Master building up again from the left side. Let's see if they can make this one count. Ball back into the center and a big shot. Wide, 4 runs.
Yes, of course. Caricom, they getting the opportunities and they're just squandering. They're keeping the ball and, of course, making some proper passing, but arriving in the final third and trying to execute judgment, there comes the problem.
Micoud the tournament with a loss and righted the ship. They went down to Grosley 2-1. And thereafter defeated Central View Fort in what was a very exciting game played at Marsha Chiney. Very, very good game. Central View Fort, I think, took the lead very early in that game. Just got, 2 goals, was it, through TT? And then the Micoud boys just came storming all the way back and won that one. A very, very good game that was.
We'll be giving away the
and then they ended the preliminaries with a 1-0 win over the All Blacks out of Dennery. So they will not have any real fear of anyone. Central View Fort, one of the stronger teams in the tournament. The All Blacks, not a very good team. Grosley last week beat Monipo Sharks 8-0, biggest victory in the tournament this year. So 3 decent teams they had in their group. So they won't be dismayed or displeased to have seen Caricom Masters as their opponents coming into this round of play. And they've held their own. They've had some lucky breaks. They've benefited as well from some very poor finishing from Caricom Masters. But as we see Gillen VJ trying to play the ball forward, but playing the ball to nobody in particular. In fact, playing it all the way back to Philip Gaspar in goal.
Yes, of course. We were talking about teams that doing good in this year's tournament, and I would mention of Labrie. That's Lancers. Lancers was very good this year, although that they participated in the plate championship. They were suffering from some problems, and they came back and put the side together, and they're doing good right now. The Caricom Masters. Some very good crossing there by the number 15 of Caricom Masters. That's Scott Evans. And a problem there for Philip Gaspar. Although he was challenged, it looks to me like a Caricom Masters player there on the far end, but still Micoud trying to make inroads there on the far side.
Between Micoud and Caricom Masters, the score remains 0-0.
Trying to cross this one, and good control there by Curtis. At the Masters, Thompson. And this is the first half of our first game here. Still locked in all, Shakes.
Neil Hall, as I said, he's going to be the team who need it more when it comes to the second half. Even Stephen, I would say, Caricom Master had the better of the exchange. Micoud acquiring a few chances, but didn't really make good of them. So let's see how the second half going to go, Chinese.
Yes, of course. Terry, 0-0 first half.
0-0. It's a stalemate after 45 minutes. Surprising stalemate, and Caricom Masters certainly had it. But I don't think they have Eustace Vitalis with them today. I haven't seen him around. I don't know if you all have a Chinese association, but I haven't seen him around today. I know they have our fellow commentator Mishak with them, but certainly they will have to be spoken to at the half about their finishing.
Yes, of course, we'll be back in about 15 to 20 minutes for the second half of the Caricom Masters Micoud game.
As we take you back to Jules International Production, we'll take a break. Camera crew, we'll take a break. We'll be back with you in a short while.
Second half action kicks off now.
We are underway here in the second half. Rhodes Lesson up front. Caricom Masters in control. See Keith Thompson in the starting lineup. This is the second half, and he's back on the ball. Caricom Masters will certainly look to draft the ball around. Here are the Philip Marsler grounds. Continue their dominance of possession and enhance that dominance of possession with a goal or two. They had much better of the first half. Number of chances created, but unable to translate those chances into dominance on the scoreboard. So as Caricom Masters trying to draw Micoud out, they're playing the ball all the way back to their back line, booting it forward, but unfortunately all it finds, well, a little bit of a tussle, and it's still with Caricom Masters. Caricom Masters looking to knock the ball around now in the attacking third. And a foul adjudged against Micoud veterans. Free kick far too far out to lead to an opportunity directly, at least, for Caricom Masters. And In fact, possession goes back briefly to Micoud veterans, but once again, Caricom Masters push it back. Brian Jub pushes it back to the goalkeeper, and now it goes forward once again. So Caricom Masters changing their tactics just a little bit. They're trying to draw their opponents out, trying to be even more patient than they have been previously. But once again, it is Micoud. Micoud have played well throughout the course of this tournament, as we said earlier. And they retain possession at this juncture. Micoud forward. Alban Herman. Caricom Masters defending in numbers. Ooh. Bit of rough play there, shoulder to shoulder though, and the ref allows it. Curtis Noel there teaming up with Romanas Inglis. Take down the attacking player, and here comes Micoud on the attack. And just unfortunate there, well, just unlucky perhaps, bracketed by two Caricom Masters defenders. And the ball finds itself with former national goalkeeper Abraham Mentor, who anchors that very stout back line for Caricom Masters. Caricom Masters, they're they're setting out the bait for Micoud veterans, but Micoud veterans not biting at all. Micoud veterans are just staying in formation, remaining very patient themselves. So now we find ourselves in the midst of a bit of a battle of wits. Neither team willing to give anything up. Caricom Masters trying to play out, and now that they are trying to play from the back, they are indeed finding themselves more often than not, at least in the early going here, giving the ball up to the Micoud veterans. So an interesting tactic, but it does not appear to have worked quite the way that Caricom Masters would have hoped. They are, however, in possession. And trying the cross was Bertram Ishmael. Unfortunately, a cross that ended up eluding the player in the box. I believe that's Roger Celestin. So again, Caricom Masters dominating possession, but failing to do much with it. Changing their tactics up a little bit. They are trying to play more from the back and trying to draw their opponents. But Blackout Shiny, the men from Micoud, not falling for that, and they are not rising to the bait. They are not coming back. They are not coming back for the ball. So they're just allowing Caricom Masters to play in front of them, and the ball eventually must come up the field.
Yeah, Terry, and there you see a handle ball there by Thompson of Caricom Masters. A spot kick to Micoud. Caricom is doing everything okay, and the final third, they just can't execute a judgment. A spot kick there from the defense of Micoud. Caricom are stealing this one there. They're trying to make inroads. Oh, good ball. It's Roger Celestine is looking for his goal there. Roger Celestine. Oh, this one just moved away from him a fraction, Shakes. Yeah, this one moved away from him a fraction and give Philip Gaspar no problems there whatsoever. Caricom was in search for their first goal, trying to find the back of the net, Shakes.
I think he just overtapped it a little bit, it moved away. We have kind of rough patches. We walked the field yesterday and we know the ball kind of deviate. You said that to me yesterday, when the ball get in that area, it do a lot of jiggery-poggery down in that part of the field. So probably I think the ball just overtapped or we just deviate from him. But that should have certainly be one up.
Yes, of course, and I'll make mention of this. Come Black Hat, I think we should take care of this ground.
Well, the ground was taken care of. We hand over the ground in impeccable shape when we finished Blackheart in September, in early October. The field was in top shape, but so much traffic have been going on the field from since that time to now. I think the field didn't get no rest, and it happened last year and it happened this year again. I think the field definitely going to need some attention coming to the upcoming tournaments coming up soon.
Yes, of course, most probably a closure to this field for most probably a few weeks, and then look after what is supposed to be done, and then reopen it again, because the surface is not looking that good. In some areas there's some dangerous patches, some footholds there which should be taken care of, as Sheikh told you. And there you see Ibrahim Mentor caressing this ball there at the back for Caricom Master, trying to find his man very long. That's Roger Celestine. Celestine is trying to control there, but he had a D Rudolph on his back there, shadowing him and making him feel the presence. Yes, of course, a throw in there to Micoud. Again, robbed by Roderick. That was for Caricom Masters. And the breeze has gotten a little stronger here, Shakes.
The momentum is picking up with the breeze. The game momentum is not picking up, but the breeze is picking up nicely. I think that when we see the first goal score, we'll get a series of goals after that. So you just have to prepare and wait for the first goal to score, and then I think the defense is going to open up. But so far, so good. We see Caricom Master making a lot of changes. The front line, we have a different front line presently right now, and I think Coach Mishak is trying to see how we can penetrate the Micoud defense.
Yeah, you saw a lovely cross there from Andy Joseph, which was not taken care of, and Micoud is penetrating again, and making inroads there in the midfield region. And some misunderstanding there by Micoud, and of course Caricom Masters is trying to pounce on this one. Heads go up in defense from a lovely cross there from Roderick.
What I noticed today, Chinese, we're not seeing a lot of long shots. We're not seeing big shots from out on top of the box. Everybody trying to get inside of the 6-yard box to probably hit the ball into the net. We need to see more shots coming from way outside, testing the goalkeepers and see if we can make the goalkeepers make mistakes.
Yes, of course, I made mention of this, Shakes, because earlier on I was trying to point this out to Terry, making mention of this, saying that they have to work with the wind, because the wind, with the wind coming in here, you could use the wind as a tool and make the ball work in your favor.
Definitely. We saw Celestine a while ago. He should have taken a shot before he get into the box. We saw another one again coming down the flank, the right flank. That player should have taken a shot to goal, but they're all trying to get the ball in like small goals. I don't know if the small goals are affecting them. They play a lot of small goals, so they're more or less looking to get inside before they could even take a shot.
Yeah, very true. As you see, my friend is a big, and this one is trying to swing this one away, and from a Mentor that is this time just going wayward of the left upright of a Mentor. A Mentor, he's finding his man, doing so quite comfortably. The ball going out into a touch there for a throw. A throw in by Ismail, Bertram Ismail. A good control there again by Julian Maffrey. Maffrey is trying to feed his man there. A good fending off this ball there. I tell you, it's all happening there. Gillian Vigier. And the man in the middle had some other thoughts on this one. Whistling it in the favor of Vigier. Here comes Caricom again. Micoud still in control of the ball game. Caricom trying to dispossess them. And they've done so successfully. Vigier at the back trying to dictate things here. Oh, some very good ball there being played by Micoud. And you see a Butcher there trying to get to this one. But some very good defending on the part of Caricom Masters. And here they come again. Some lovely passing there and by the Masters. Back in the defense of Micoud. A very poised game, still very poised between the two. Still waiting on someone to pounce. And caressing the old onion bag. Micoud doing the 1-2. Oh, some lovely passes there being put together by the Micoud team. And Fanis is failing to control this one. Ball going straight into the path of Abraham Mentor as they start again with Curtis, who's trying to feed Celestina. And the man in the middle spotted something that many people didn't see. He is in charge of the game. He has the whistle, accompanied by two officials, one on our near and one on our far side. And I just see Terry going through the photos and the stats of this year's tournament, keeping us abreast with what's going on. And Terry, we here in the second half and it's still locked at 0-0.
It's still 0-0. If you're looking for some action, however, you can head over to veteransinsports.com. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Veterans in Sports or Veterans in Sports, and stay in touch with all of the action. Number of photos there from last night's quarterfinals as well as the previous week's Plate Cup quarterfinals, Plate quarterfinals I should say, and of course all throughout the preliminaries. Thousands of photos from the preliminaries, Chinese, into the quarterfinals. Now ongoing as we get ready for the penultimate stage of this year's competition. Of course, the knockout stages right now. And we are looking at the third quarterfinal in the Caribbean Alliance Gold Cup quarterfinals. So VSADC getting comfortably past Valley Legends, the VSADC tournament favorites. Only team that has won all of their games. They won 2-0 over Valley Legends. Didn't please Chinese too greatly. And the winner of this matchup, Micoud Veterans and Caricom Masters, will go up against VSADC. And whichever one gets out of this fixture, they were the one to play a little bit better against VSADC, Chinese.
Yes, of course. Seeing them play last night, they're a team that love to sit back and allow you to come and wait for you and then pounce. They don't rush the game, not at all. They play a very low-pressed game, and they're comprised of many ex-national players, and they know what the game entails and every tactic and everything about the 90-minute game. And sometimes, yes, of course, we go into extra time and penalties. Sometimes, yes, and VS, I must tell you, they've ruled. Oh, what a wonderful goal there! Oh my God! Is it D. Randolph blasting this one into the roof of the net?
On the volley, just seeing the ball, judging the angle correctly, and smashing it past Abraham Mentor. Absolutely unable to do anything about that. Beating the defense and then smashing the ball past Abraham Mentor. Micoud veterans, 1-0.
Chicks.
What a goal, what a goal. We call it a rupa-dupa up in the net. The Caricom master custodian have no part of what transpired there a while ago. But the floodgates is open now, Chinese, and we should see more goal scoring as the game progresses.
Yeah, it was Conrad Evans finding the back of the net there for Micoud veterans, and it's 1-0.
Conrad Evans is a decent player. I can remember him playing for the Micoud senior side as a young player. Very nippy, very stocky, but he can really hit the ball. He reminds me of Cornelius Butcher, how he normally plays. The two of them used to was playmates together playing for Micoud. So it's not easy as Caricom master think today, but this game I think is now started.
Yes, of course, and not forgetting the man in the goal there, Philippe Gaspard. Shakes, he was a former keeper for Micoud in the Black Hat tournament.
Definitely. So we see a lot of senior players graduating into the veterans, and that's what makes the tournament even more spicy and more encouraging this year. A lot of new veterans. When you look at the Valley team, fast and quick. They themselves, a young veterans team, a team to look out for in the upcoming more of them in the veterans tournament. But we definitely seen a lot of new and exciting players coming through this year for various teams in the veterans tournament.
Yes, of course, because in the Valley Legends team, we saw some new players, the likes of Leighton Sandiford. We also have Jackie, who is Anthony Matthew, and lots more who played together and just turned 40, and of course making the ranks. And just like we were mentioning, Philip Gaspard, he played under the supervision of Alan Posh Providence when they won the Black Hat. Alan was the one who was the coach of Micoud when Micoud won the Black Hat, and I tell you, Philippe Gaspard was one of the players in that camp that particular year.
Yes, it's only August good for the tournament. Seen a lot of new players coming through the ranks, graduating into the veterans family. So we're expecting big things in this tournament come 2017, 2018. But so far, wonderful goal by Mr. Evans.
Yes, of course. And Micoud taking the lead and looking to stretch it here. A free kick awarded to Micoud. A good pass there by Julian. Across there. Some defending to be done there again on behalf of the Masters. But this one was pushed wide. Looks to me like Sylvanus there pushing this one wide.
Could have been danger there for Caricom Masters. Ended up being innocuous. But it could have been a very dangerous, it was a very good ball in. And I don't think Caricom Masters defended that well at all. They just ended up being a little bit fortunate.
Yeah, fortunate was the word, Terry. As Micoud is trying to build it with the dreadlocks. That's Samuel trying to find his man. Some lovely passing there by Micoud. Dangerously attacking there on the left flank, and the cross was not that sufficient to meet his compatriot there. And again, you see Masters is trying to build with Curtis. And man in the middle there, the referee spotting an infringement. Spot kick to Micoud. Again, the Masters comes forward with Curtis. He's lifting this one gently, looking for Alvin Malakan. But the defense of Micoud is on point.
We are looking for the holder of ticket number 074395. 074395.
Oh, the shot was there to be taken there. I'm telling you, Alvin Malakan had this ball under his foot there, but it was stuck in between a player's leg also, and here comes Micoud. And still not really taking possession of the ball game. Caricom Masters trying to build from behind with Gillan Vigier. Vigier finding Joseph Evans. Is trying to take on his man. He's back to Curtis. Looking for a game, and it looks to me like Vigier is making a run forward. Heads go up in defense. Malakan on the chest. Some good work in there by Alvin Malakan. Oh, this one is ricocheting from Alvin Malakan's body. And Gaspar was trying to clear this one there in the process. And, still Micoud controlling the ball game. Dreadlock Mervyn Samuel. Samuel finding Julian. Some good ball there. Toe poke there by Thompson trying to put Caricom back in the game, but posing no threat again onwards into the goal of Philip Gaspar, and Gaspar is pouncing on this one. 1-2 Vigier going past his man quite comfortably.
074352.
He's trying to dance and trying to find a Thompson, but again, Micoud making sure that everything is remaining intact. And there we see the holy men of Prophet and Kings. All my extended right. Engaging themselves in their warm-up activities.
Yes, Chinese, we see it's picking up now, the persons coming in for the game, the second game, as Caricom Master fighting to see if they can equalize. And we see players been hitting the turf often now. The legs is telling, cramp is stepping in. This is veterans football, so you know you're going to have a lot of persons falling. If you look over in the far left now, China, you can see them exciting central view for getting themselves together for their big match coming up next.
Yes, of course, and as I mentioned previously, Prophet and Kings engaging themselves in their warm-up activities, decked in the green and yellow on our far side there. They are down to meet each other next. That's Prophet and Kings on Central View Fort, and the crowd has come in to see their homeboys, that of Prophet and Kings. That's Central View Fort to take on Prophet and Kings here at the Philip Marsland.
We just heard the return of British Airways, the leaving of Virgin Atlantic. Virgin is making the way all the way to Gatwick Airport now. Chinese, we should have been on that flight moving over to Gatwick right now.
Yeah, Bob Marley said coming in from the cold, but we will be moving into the cold.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, it's very cold up in the commentary booth here right now. And according to the Englishman, we may need some tea.
Yeah, of course, yes, because as you know, the English people, they do love cricket. And they do have lunch before they have tea in the game of cricket.
Definitely. Definitely, Connie, but definitely.
Because lunch is at 12 and tea is about like 3:34. It simply means that it's very cold up there.
But in the Caribbean, we do tea and then we do lunch. But they do it backwards.
We have tea in the morning, they got tea in the evening. Yes, of course. You're not missing any action there. One of the players just remained on the ground, and he's being nursed there by the medical team.
No action being missed on the field, Chinese, but quite a bit of action up here in the commentary area. And we nearly lost our covering. Tonight, almost certainly the coolest that we've seen, and certainly one of the stiffest breezes that we will have experienced down at the Philip Marsland grounds.
Yeah, Terry, I see you have your jacket tonight, and Shakes forgot his, but I'm comfortable sipping on some hard stuff here. I think it soothes my body a little bit because I forgot my jacket too.
Your guy always have a jacket. I don't know, you forget your jacket just like me. But Terry's well prepared. You know, Terry always prepared. Move like Robinson Henry, always with a bag full of goodies inside.
He just pulled out the munchies there.
And we saw a while ago, Connie, but we almost lost the covering. Terry was bringing it to your attention, but you were busy with the match card. We saw a heavy wind coming across all the way from Barbados and moving the back part of the covering. We see the ball is making a way over into the half of Micoud, and Micoud cleared it again. And as we resume, Caricom Master trying to build an attack, intercept by the dreadlocks out of Micoud. And Micoud is kind of picking up a tempo right now, Chinese.
Yes, of course. Still talking about this win. I think it's southeast wind. The wind from Barbados and the one from St. Vincent working in tandem to raise our roof electrics.
I told you that before, and we experienced it. But all in all, I think we're having a very good time up here in the commentary booth. And we're seeing Micoud kind of raise the confidence. They're more confident now. They're the one building the attack now and getting the pressure on Caricom Master. Caricom Master is down by a goal. They have to try to equalize as quick as possible if they want to stay in the hunt. Or Alvin Malikan will have to join us in the commentary booth for the next game because he would not be playing any games again.
Very true indeed. It would be such a lovely feeling to have the tournament director and also the CEO of the tournament in the commentary booth keeping me some company. And it's still 1-0 in favor of Micoud veterans as Caricom Masters trying to make amends here with the number 11, that's Thompson, trying to dance around his man. Some very good defending there by the player from Micoud, and just caressing this ball into touch for throwing there to Caricom Masters.
So many different ways that teams can respond to a goal. You see the urgency from Caricom Masters being raised slightly, but really it appears that the goal has given the scoring team a shot in the arm and lifted their efforts even further. They're not looking to sit back, they're not looking to just absorb, they are staying on the attack and trying to find a second.
Yes, of course. Micoud is in no nonsense mood here tonight, and they are not friends with Caricom Masters. There you see Martin is trying to make inroads there, trying to dance around his man into the final third, but he was caught short there. And VG with a burst of fury. And I just saw Roger Celestin was ruled offside. And Terry, some gusty winds trying to appraise our roof here.
Very much so.
Terry is entertaining himself there with his laptop, and also he has the munchies. Some very good defending there by Joseph Evans, finding his man. Some a neat pass in there. Evans again in possession of the ball, is trying to take on the Dreadlocks man, doing so quite perfectly. Some very good working there by Micoud, fending this ball. VG trying to lift this one gently, trying to find Roger Celestin. And the man on the far side had some other ideas throwing there to Caricom.
The second encounter of the evening.
VG finding his man on the far side. Oh, and again, you see, trying to work with the wind there is Caricom Masters, but misheating this one. Goal kick there for Micoud veterans, and they in no hurry to do this one, pouncing on this one. And you saw Julian Maffrey is in chase, trying to get over VG there, but VG finding Mentor, his goalkeeper. Mentor was looking into the path of Emmanuel there, and Emmanuel, I think, headed this one out and throw again to Caricom. Roger Celestin is trying to find Thompson there. Again, back to Celestin. Celestin in the final third, trying to flick this one to Alvin Malakan. And again, well caressed again by the Dreadlocks man who is moving Moving, finding Julian and Julian again, trying to find, I think it was Olton Robert, and Olton, a very good ball there to Evans, and Evans again was trying to pounce on Abraham Mentor, Terry.
Again bracketed, but he was very much in control, was Evans, and then eventually upended by the goalkeeper, who came out very, very deep to perform that defensive action. Could have found himself in trouble, but in the end, well judged, as Caricom Masters flash across the goal and fail to find the equalizer. And how many times did we say that today?
Oh my God, Terry, numerous times. And Alvin Malakan is looking very, very disappointed there. With this one is just a whisker away from Thompson, and Thompson just squandering this one wide here, Shakes.
Well, we saw Caricom Master doing it over and over and over again, getting the chances and not putting it away. We can see Alvin Malikan walking back well disappointed there. They're calling on his teammate, they're under pressure. Micoud is one up, and Caricom Master is kind of run out of time presently right now. So all in all, Chinese is just deja vu for Caricom Master.
Yes, of course, because they're down by a goal to nil. And let me remind you that they are coming up against Micoud veterans. The whistle of the man in the middle went. Sporting an infringement there.
Deja vu too, in the sense that they had the better really of that game against Ancillerator at the SAB in the final preliminary match, and they looked the better team, but were just unable to get the final cutting edge, and then eventually they fell to a 1-0 defeat in that game. They're down 1-0 right now, heading into the latter stages of this quarterfinal encounter at the Philip Marsley grounds. Could it be, in fact, that they will find themselves at the end of a 2-0 scoreline? Because right now, Micoud is giving just as good as they're getting, and unlike Caricom Masters, they're finishing their chances.
Yeah, Terry, Caricom Masters are squandering all their opportunities and failing to hit the marker, failing to find the back of the net. And Abraham Mentor is looking very, very disappointed there. But in all that, the ball game right now is being controlled by the Masters. And the Joseph finding his man. Presently is VG. VG is trying to find Gonzaga. Well dealt with in defense by Micoud, just giving a through to Caricom Masters. And Shakes, Micoud is still holding on to the lead.
Yeah, Micoud is holding on strong. Most teams we see score against Caricom Master, and Caricom Master came back. We saw Lancer scoring against them at the Masha ground, and they came back rearing and scoring some goals. And tonight we saw Micoud scoring force against them, but they just cannot equalize. And we see the frustration is building by the front line of the Masters.
Yes, of course, you see Olton trying to dance around his man there, and again trying to feed his compatriot there, and some good defending again on the part of the Masters. VG trying to take on his man, doing so quite perfectly. Finding his compatriot there on the right flank, and trying to get to Malikan, and Malikan was dispossessed. Some good ball handling and ball controlling there by the Micoud team, and Gonzaga. Some very good ball there played by Gonzaga, and of course it was Celestine not be able to control in this one, as the drizzle is getting a little bit heavier here at the Philip Marsley ground.
Yeah, we saw the rain coming now. As I told you earlier, we're going to get some rain, and just arriving now. We see everybody just scampering away from the bottom of the VIP area. As we look on the field, we saw Micoud building an attack again, looking to see if they can make it. You call it a feeble shot. Very feeble shot there by Micoud. Building up the attack again. Caricom Master looking to see if they can pull back this one. Big ball by Caricom Master. Caricom Master turning again. Looking to see if they can really pull back this one. School Machine in Celestine is trying his best to see if he can pull back one for his team.
Yeah, well recuperated there by moving Samuel the Dreadlocks, finding the man in defense, and again some good ball by Olton Rigobot. Olton fending this one, and he was robbed there again, and Celestine is on this one. Oh, what a good goalkeeping there by Philip Gaspar, and it looked.
I think Philip Gaspar is off the field present now. We have another goalkeeper in the substitute goalkeeper is getting a run, and he's doing very well also on the bars, Chinese.
Yes, of course. I just realized it was not Philip Gaspar on the shorts that he's wearing, Shakes. Philip Gaspar has been substituted, and having the second string goalkeeper to have a go at it. And some a good ball again was played into the path of Olton Rigobert, but some good defending again from the number 16, that's Andy Joseph of Caricom Masters, as he's been substituted. And to come on field, I think it will be Curtis to replace him. I'm seeing that he's holding his upper thigh, an injury there most probably. Julian Marthrin. Finding the Dreadlocks man. The Dreadlocks man again finding Olton Rigobert. Some good touches there between the two, moving Rigobert and Julian. Oh, good ball. He's taking him on. Oh, good ball again. Olton Rigobert trying to cross this one. Micoud pushing this one back to the midfield. Vigé looking for Ernest. Vigé again, and he's committed himself this time. Vigé pushing very, very high upfield, coming out of the defense of Caricom Masters, and Caricom needing a goal here, Terry.
Well, definitely they need a goal to keep in the competition, keep in this game, and they have had chances for that goal and have not been able to capitalize thus far. Right now, Micoud, they're not committing a lot going forward. Just two men, and there are 4 defenders there for Caricom Masters. Will these 2 men be able to make the breakthrough?
It's still Caricom in control of the game, still trying to find the back of the net and equalizing this game here. Trying to build an attack. There is the number 7 for Caricom Masters. A clearance there. It was Ernest bringing this one down on his chest. And again, you see Shakes in the final third. Caricom Masters has not found their glory point as yet.
Caricom Masters look a shadow of themselves from the last game they played. I don't know what's really going on today with Caricom Master, but they're behind the 8 ball. Micoud is 1 up. And as the clock ticks down, we see the frustration is growing by Caricom Master. Just can't find that equalizer.
Checks his watch one time. Checks it again. And this is it.
Oh, what a wonderful save there at the final whistle, Shakes. This one had it eluded in the fingertips of the goalkeeper. It would have been a square here, 1-1, and you just see the final whistle there. A wonderful shot was taken there by Curtis, and the goalkeeper just got a hand to this one and just making sure that it was safe in his grasp, just to embrace the final whistle. And Micoud going home with this victory, a 1-0 over Caricom Masters, who already won this tournament.
Too late, too soon, too late, too soon, too soon, too late. We've been speaking about the big shots. Everybody trying to take the shots inside of the boxes, and nobody was taking the long shot. We see one long shot, very good shot, could have scored, but then it's too late. We see Caricom Master have to be join us, will be joining us sooner or later in the stands as a spectator. They're gone. That's the end of them for the 2016-2017 Veterans in Sport Inc. tournament.
Yes, of course. Terry, Micoud going home with this one.
Well, Micoud going home with this one, and Caricom Masters just going home. And consecutive 1-0 defeats after having scored 9 goals in the tournament, 3 hat-tricks, but unfortunately unable to find more goals. They finished the tournament in very disappointing fashion.
We hand you back to Master Control as we take a little bit break. We can see our camera ladies dancing and grooving it down in front there. Hand you back over to Jules Production as we take a break.